Hi, we're the Infamy Fantasy Esports team, and we're hosting fantasy esports contests at infamy.gg, so go check it out. But today we're continuing our Is It Trash series with Proletariat's new game, Spellbreak. They've had it in beta for a while, and now it's released to the public. It's a magic-based battle royale where you build different elemental gauntlets and chuck giant boulders and lightning at each other until, the usual battle royale thing. There's one person left. So you guys have all played it. What do you think of the gameplay itself?
Well, there's not really much building. It's more of just you pick something up in level. You just pick up like a higher level, kind of like how Apex works. It's like there's just different level of gear. In this case,
Yeah,
gauntlets
rarities.
and like some gear. So it's not really like crafting, but um, it's like Harry Potter for battle royale.
Yeah, you choose like your base gauntlet, right? Your base element, and then you
Yeah.
can kind of swap the secondary one as you find stuff.
Yeah, it's super cool that they changed it because I played back in the alpha, and originally the way they had it was you would just choose your talent tree, and I believe the first thing I chose was fire, poison, and fire had like this ability where if you stepped in the flames, you would heal yourself and all this crazy shit. But they changed that system around because the number one problem I had with that was like you load into a game, you choose your talents, and then you land and you don't get fire gauntlets. So like I can't heal myself because I have rock. So they made it so you automatically get one of your gauntlets you choose in the menu, and then you have to pick up your second one in game, which I think enhanced the gameplay experience for me, at least.
Yeah, and what I found interesting was they something different they did than a lot of battle royales is like you kind of level up when you get through a new zone, like closer to the through each zone, right? It's like an automatic
Yeah,
level up for you,
exactly.
or
I don't.
Yeah, so every time you get to like every time like the storm or whatever you want to call it comes in, you get an additional because there's like a perk tree. So the longer you last, you'll get like I like to play fire. So like the second ring when you lay down your like trail of fire. If you run through it, you get like a half a fly. So like you can use it to like beam in on people or like get away from people. It's
Mhm.
pretty interesting, but it also kind of like if you don't play enough, it'll kind of fuck you up because you'll be like, oh, I'm gonna fly in and then just cook yourself.
Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah, because you have to get like the fire talents right from
Well,
like.
no, you only get it. It's not like you get it from kills. Like I wish you could like level up from kills too. It's only like based on game time.
Yeah.
So like I wish like there was some kind of like if you're doing well, like you get those added
Mhm.
bonuses, and if you're doing crappy, then like the time period will matter. Like even if you're still alive, like at least there's a benefit to it.
yeah,
So like
not
you
an
use the
opportunity to
points.
snowball if you're doing good,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
also keeping everyone in like a long pace by just making it time
yeah.
based as
As,
well. Does that promote more camping? With, like just letting everyone get more powerful as the game goes on?
It's not really a
Yeah.
massive game changer of a buff. It's like said, like if you walk through your firewall, you can like fly for like 5 seconds. It's nothing crazy, but like it it's just cool.
Hmm.
Is what is how I'll describe it. Just like a cool little feature, so that way you don't feel like you're wasting your time in the mid game when you're like just looting.
I think it like changes up like the how a fight pans out because it does like with like this game the terrain and the map is just like very lackluster. I think it's like one of the biggest downfalls of this game is just the lack of creativity and uniqueness of the areas on the map. So having like these small like you put up your firewall and like you're able to like kind of boost yourself through it, or like later on if I play stone a lot, so like I would get two like stones that I can chuck at people later on. So
Hmm.
uh, just like little things that can like help spice up late game fights, I think is nice. But um, if they didn't have that, I think I would have stopped playing this game a lot sooner because the map is just kind of trash, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree. The map is one of the biggest downfalls of this game. It's like you're either fighting in a rundown castle or on a hilltop
Hmm.
somewhere, and there's no in
Unidentified
between. There was
hilltop. Yeah.
yeah, and there was the one
I've heard it's a
time
lot of
when we fought in the
go
maze
ahead.
that was
that was
I don't know
sweet.
where it is. The maze was real, but
It's
Yeah.
such a
that was
small part of it too.
yeah, it was the most fun I had fighting in that game. But it just feels like I don't know how to describe it. Like when you're a character on standing on top of the hill, your character feels gigantic. I don't know. I don't even know if that makes sense, but your character just feels disproportionate to the map. I guess maybe because of the speed you can travel around it, and it just like the map just feels so insignificant.
Yeah, I
That's
honestly, I'm
what-
looking it up now to see if it's procedurally generated. That's how like samey it is. Like it's so like it's not. It's just like that's how bad it is. It's
Mhm.
so like it's just cookie cutter. Like every like you're like flying. Like don't get me wrong, you're like blazing through the map pretty quick if you are lucky enough to get a fucking travel power. Like that's another thing about those games. Like um
Most of the abilities
why
are useless, like or
yeah,
just
half
trash.
of the abilities are useless. Like they're better. Like there are some abilities that are really good late game, and then the other ones are travel powers. So like if you get stuck out with something like what is dash?
it's literally what it is. It's a
It's a
dash.
dash.
It,
It's a
it's
dash.
just it's literally yeah.
It's like a
But
10-foot
it's
dash, but
terrible.
like
You
yeah,
become
compared to
like
people who can
invincible
fly.
for like that quick half a second while you dash 2 feet. Well, if you have teleport, you can literally just beam around or fly. You're literally just soaring through the sky. It's like the
Yeah.
discrepancy in these abilities is so crazy that like I would rather. Sometimes I wouldn't even want to like pick it up because then I have to stop and hold down E to like change out my item or my ability if I do find something good. So
Yeah. Like the only ability outside of flying teleport that is worth it is the wolf one, which
Oh
allows you
yeah.
to see people through walls. And only one person on your team needs to have that. So
yeah, it's also super
Yeah.
annoying. You just hear the wolf every like 3 seconds
yeah.
howl.
Uh-huh. That's another thing. Yeah, they need to kind of like cut that shit out. I guess it's like, can you hear it on the enemy team? I
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
You can
yeah,
hear it, yeah.
hmm
That's how you know they're using it.
yeah.
But
But I mean, like, I guess that's like, it's cool. It's just like every 5 seconds,
hmm
like it can't just give you like a latent speed boost that you don't have to just use it every 2 seconds because
what?
like, the
The
wolf
wall
thing
hack.
because
Yeah, the wall hacks.
it gives you a speed boost while it's active as well. And like if you're trying to use
Just
it
that.
for a travel power, you're literally just howling for 20 minutes while you're running around
I
trying
mean,
to
I think
catch up to your boy that has fly.
that's the trade-off. You sacrifice movement for literally being able to see people through walls, which is one of the most coveted things in
hmm
like any.
Well, I
Yeah, I
think
mean
I
it's cool. It's just like if you get stuck with that early game, it's garbage.
oh, it
I think
depends.
that's when it's the best.
That's one of the
Because
best.
like,
Because late game, it's like there's so much like particle effects like flying
yeah,
everywhere. You're not missing the fight. It's like not,
yeah,
and it's like pretty
yeah. You
easy
know
to
where
see
everyone
people.
is.
There's not really places to hide, like we said earlier. The map is very like barren. So, um, the wall hacks early game is really crucial to like get more armor to upgrade your items and stuff. But I think they should just get rid of the howling noise and just do what they do with Bloodhound in Apex, where it's just like a visual scan, like a little bubble. You see
Yeah,
where the scan goes, and you don't have like this annoying sound effect every 3 seconds.
yeah. So
It sounds like a balance thing, though, to like let people know that
yeah,
you've
you're
been spotted.
But
Yeah.
but at the same time, it's like in Apex, you literally see the bubble where things are getting scanned, so it's like the same
yeah,
thing.
you
You're
can
just
like see
not.
the
You're just
radar.
getting not.
It's a different way of doing it.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. But yeah, with that, let's talk about gameplay. I think the Spellbreak gameplay was super refreshing. I played it after playing League and Fortnite for a long time, and that's just like playing the game, it was super different. My favorite thing about the game is that the elements, you can combine them, and especially with the new system that they have, you choosing which element that you want in the main menu is super crucial because it changes out the way that element plays. Like, for example, if you pick up ice regularly, you can just snipe people with it. But if you choose ice as your main power, you can do the ice skating thing where if you shoot the ground, it creates a trail and you can skate on it. So that in itself just adds a whole different level to the game. Because I remember I first picked fire and poison and I was like, oh, this is trash. But then I changed the way I did it. I did poison and fire. And when you pick poison as your innate or passive ability, it leaves sticky trails on the ground, and then when you shoot fire at it, you can ignite them. So like I was just doing my combo inefficiently, so it does have actual impact what you pick in the menu, which I think is really cool. And then the gameplay itself, like I said, is just super fun and intuitive. You can like you see someone throws down their own gas cloud, and you can just ignite it if you're fire, or electrocute it, or even freeze it if you're ice.
You're also lagging,
I
Darren.
found
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, just for a second. But I found that that combo detrimental because if you're
What?
just slinging them, if you're just like you have to like, all right,
Which
so like
combo?
the toxic fire
Oh
because
yeah.
the amount of times that you are lighting yourself up
Hmm.
is
Yeah, there's a
ridiculous. Like
lot of
Yeah.
you're in close quarters.
self-inflicting wounds in
Yeah.
this game. So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
oh,
And
that's
you can even hurt your teammate.
I think one of the most annoying things uh, is when you're loading into the game and you have like that pre-game lobby when you're just chilling out in like the training arena with everybody, and these kids are just spamming shit at you, and just hear the sound effect of like the you getting
The-
hit by something like non-stop, especially with poison because it just keeps rattling off every time
Yeah,
damage
it
ticks
keeps
on you. It's just like
ticking.
Bro, this is
in
why
your
I don't
ears,
play with sound, Jake. This is why I
This
don't
is
play with
and
sound. I'm
that's
just
why
like
you
I'm
always go
tired.
down first, Blake. Because
I'm sorry, sound engineers, but you're bad. You're all like I just have the sound off half
They're
the
they're
time.
too good at their job that it's like annoying.
I don't know. Yeah, I guess. I mean, it's cool. It's just like same thing with like League too. I'm tired of the same fucking 29 voice lines. I just turn it off. I don't care.
Yeah. Blake doesn't believe in sound in video games.
Yeah,
It's
fuck it.
just
but
I
like
don't need your footsteps. I'll still
Controversial.
shit on you.
But I think like something that really sets like is different that they do is like there's also secondary passive abilities that you can earn by playing the game and just by leveling up each of your gauntlets. You have like three different passive like additional passives. Like one's like if you take damage you sprint a little faster, or
you
some
can do the
abilities take
self-res.
less self res, or some abilities take less mana. And if like you spend more time grinding out like fire, for instance, like they're all the same for each one, but they don't transfer over. So like you have to level up fire to get lifesteal, but that won't transfer if you pick ice. You'll start at base level secondary passives. So that's like
But the
another.
body, mind, soul, or whatever. Like there's those.
Yeah. Yeah, the scrolls.
I think stuff like that
When you
helps
get those
keep
scrolls.
a little like more flavor and like variety in each game. Because if you want to, it helps like build a more interesting like personal style to what you want to do. Like because those little
Yeah.
things can have big impact over the game and how you
I
play
mean,
your
but
tactic.
they're those two things are different though.
Of the scrolls and I don't
Oh
know
yeah,
the
yeah. So
thing you're
there's
talking about, but
scrolls, increase like like allows you to have armor if you don't have a belt. Also, it also levels up your belt. I mean, or your armor. Another one's like just amount of mana you have. I forget which one does which. But then there's like the just character passives, like the life steal, the res. Like those things are separate.
Yeah, they basically it's like a kit that you can have like before you load into the game.
Yeah.
And honestly, like it's really cool that you can cater it a little bit more to your play style, which is very interesting. Like I always love that about Destiny 1, where you can really like build your character out to the way you wanted to play it. And if they make that system a little bit more robust, I think they have like a really good game on their hands, combined with like obviously the elemental combos. And if they could add maybe a couple more, that'd be very cool as well because one thing that I don't like about the game is there are clear winners as far as like
Abilities.
wind, hot garbage, hot garbage.
Which
Wind?
one?
I don't think so.
Which one?
I don't think. I don't. I was.
like
I
is
will
doing
say that I
this.
think every.
But you're like really loud and then stop.
Sorry.
I haven't.
But
I don't agree with that, Blake. I think that all the abilities have a place, and
No, I'm not talking about
especially
the
with-
gauntlet itself. I'm talking about like the innate stats, like
Wind
wind.
makes it so you're immune to tornadoes, which 90% of people use.
Yeah, but I mean, it's not that powerful.
I
And
mean-
it's not like you're completely immune to it. You can just walk out of it.
Yeah, but like if I choose fire, I don't have that. Now
I mean,
I'm
at the
getting
same
cooked.
time, you can throw down your tornado as like a defensive maneuver. If you see someone throwing a rock at you or like a fireball, you throw up your fucking tornado and like negates it and lets you like dodge that ability. Also, I feel like wind is like I don't know. Me and Darren kind of reference like these people who like kind of use some cheese shit. Like you see people just playing Reaper because
Oh,
they can't
yeah.
actually play a skill character in like Overwatch, and I think like Wind is that because you can just keep spamming people with it. It doesn't do that much damage, but you don't have to aim that much with it. It's just like
Yeah, you just hold down the.
so I don't
The
know.
mouse
Yeah,
button.
It's kind of
it's. I mean, also too. I feel like it has a farthest range as well. Even like other than ice, but like when you're like trying to track somebody down while they're like flying away from you, like it's always kids with wind that are hitting you in the back.
Yeah, because they
They're
don't have. They just just spam it.
No, I get you.
Heard
Yeah, but it's not
poison.
about the gauntlet. I just think like the
The innate
like
ability.
as a starter, like why would you pick it? Like so that you can jump. Like when you, like honestly, that just throws your shot off. Like there are so many better ones, like rock. Like rock gives you
Rock gives you
armor.
shield. Yeah.
Yeah,
Rock's
like
my
that's
favorite.
bad.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like the only way to get shield if you don't have that thing Jake talked about, the innate perk or a belt. That's I don't know how I feel about the belt system. It's like kind of cool and different, and it's kind of terrible.
It's hot ass, dude. It's hot ass. Like you should start with a certain level of shields because you're gonna lose out to somebody that just got a purple belt. Like maybe like
But that's like it's a part of the game.
all right. Well, what if they
Is it
change
not
it to
gonna
like
make
when you
it
pick up a
more?
belt, it just increase your capacity, not automatically start you off with 80 shield.
Yeah, that's a way to do it.
Yeah, that's a tweak though. That's like, is it? Do you think it's overall a good system though to add that diversity of playstyle or whatever, or like having
It
to
just
choose
like
and
you
make it a little
can't
more
earn more
complex?
shield, Steve. You have to find a belt, otherwise you can't get any shield.
I think what they can do is make every piece of armor give you, or every piece of equipment give you a little bit of shield. So that way, if you get boots, you get like 2 pieces. If you get like a belt, you get like 3 pieces of armor, and it adds up to that like whole legendary, like as much as a legendary belt. So that way, you don't have to just find a belt. You can like find boots and be like, all right, I got like 2 shields.
Or they have to
Also-
introduce like either the crafting system they do in Realm where you can disenchant stuff, because there's so many times like you're just running around and it's like you might have like blue level, it's like like second best tier for like till like late game, but you might pass like 5 blue things. So if it was like Realm Royale, you could disenchant those and like find the crafting spot to like level up your gear. Or in Apex, like with the Evo shields, like if the more damage you do, you just level up your shield, so it upgrades, it incentivizes taking fights. So there has to be something to kind of mitigate just like all this loot everywhere that's just like worthless at a certain period in the game.
Yeah,
going
I was
on.
gonna say too, real quick. Or if you're gonna get off shields, also too, because like you get so many shield potions that are useless until you find a belt as well. Why don't they just do a decay until you have a certain level belt and it will stop decay? Because like not having shields at all, like especially like because we like the hot drop too. You're gonna fucking lose out to a kid that got a belt in the first thing. You know what I'm saying? Like it's like just to even that out. Like that was my only complaint because like when you hot drop, you're gonna lose out to the kid that got the purple belt on the first chest.
Yeah, it's pretty lame for that to be the decider of
Yeah, it's
who
like,
got
wow,
the.
this kid just got max shield, and I couldn't.
Yeah,
couldn't
the only chance you have is if like you do find like one of the movement abilities like teleport or fly, because the time to kill isn't that high in this game. It's unlike what was that first game? Hyperscape, where it takes forever to kill someone. If you do land your shots, it doesn't take that long to kill somebody. You
like
melt
3
people
shots
pretty
almost.
fast.
Late game, you're one shot comboing people. It's
Yeah,
disgusting.
that's why it was like when you said the tornadoes suck, because like you get someone in the tornado and then hit it with poison and a fireball. That's an instant.
Especially with your
Oh,
boys,
yeah,
you just
no,
hit them, you
definitely.
just
I'm
chain
not
CC
saying that-
them. They're just done.
Yeah, I'm just talking about like the innate skills. I wasn't talking
Yeah.
about like just like a win priority.
Yeah, going off of what Jake was saying about the loot system, I thought that this solution could fix like the loot system and the problems with the map. Have like biomes added, so like like for example, there's a fire zone. If you land there, either one, fire damage is increased, or some other kind of damage is increased, and there's a higher level of getting fire items. Not all of these things have to be implemented, but just like things like that to make it so that way, oh, if I'm a fire user, I want to go here and get this item, or if I'm a ice user, I want to go here because I can ice skate through this whole map, and anyone else that's not ice can't really.
And that
do that.
that could also help with if they do eventually want, like I know initially they wanted to like push this as an esports title, but like that could also help dictating where teams land, because we kind of alluded to earlier, it's like only one person in your team needs to run ice, because if like you have someone's running ice as their main gauntlet and they put down the snow and the ice for you to like skate on, anybody can skate on that. It's not just that one person. So you just need like someone to be the ice person. Like if you want to land in this ice zone, you're gonna help that kid out on your team, but maybe someone else running different gauntlets, they're gonna be at a disadvantage.
Yeah,
So
they're
it's like
gonna-
be more
yeah.
strategic of where you're gonna be dropping on the map.
Yeah, and it'll add personality to the map as well. And like for rotation, also like you don't get the travel item, you get stuck with dash, but you land in the ice zone and you're an ice user. Well, you don't need to worry about dash because you can ice skate through the whole section of the map. Just like things like that to make like spots memorable, because we literally just like load in and we don't really care where we land, so much so to the point where we just choose to land on mana vaults, which are like large mega chests that just give you the best loot early, and they often spawn cluster together. So we'll split up and land on 3 different mana vaults, and that's because
And
it doesn't make sense.
We'll fight
landing in
whoever's there, and we'll try to meet up in the
Yeah, we
middle. Yeah.
Yeah, it just doesn't. It's not worth it to like land in Broken Down Castle A
Yeah,
or Broken Down
it
Castle
doesn't
Z.
even- They don't even have to have like gameplay implications. Like they can have more tactical ones, but just giving personality to different zones, which is something games like Fortnite and Realm Royale do really well. Like they don't really impact. Maybe like a certain gun will be like a little better in a certain area, but it just gives the whole game personality. And it's kind of surprising that how long they've been working on this. The map is something they've ignored so much. Of just like,
Yeah.
I really like this broken down castle. Let's put it everywhere.
Yeah, dude.
Like they have like those glints though of like
It's fun.
personality in small places. Like there's this like one area where it's like a giant temple, or like the maze like we were talking about before. They have some, but like it's
Yeah,
the
the
majority
like
of
the
the
genre
map.
they're in really opens themselves to like a lot of
Yeah,
good
they can do,
possibilities, like
like-
temples and stuff.
yeah.
Like
They're like
have a not broken
the
down
fact
castle.
that
Go
like
crazy.
everybody can just like hover and like basically float like certain distances. Why don't you just have like floating platforms and like
Yeah.
you can have
exactly.
broken
That's
flying
exactly what I
castles
thought.
since you love
You can-
castles so much. Just have
Even
some of them be
broken
flying.
castle.
In such a,
Hell yeah, I love those.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But,
they
yeah,
really
I've heard
don't
that
use the
because the maps-
verticality at all.
Yeah, I've heard because the maps are so lackluster that it just becomes a lot of like jumping and flying and throwing boulders and lightning at each other and just like kind of
Yeah.
that's
hopping
what kind
around,
of like
shooting
dulled the
instead of-
gameplay for me. I stopped like enjoying it because it just felt rinse and repeat so
Yeah,
much.
it was like too easy at one point, because me, Blake, and Jake, we would just like, this is what I loved about the game. You just hit like these insane combos. Like I'll throw a tornado, Jake will shoot lightning at it, and then Blake will throw poison at it, and like we didn't communicate this at all, but like we'll just do it and be like, oh fuck, that kid just got.
Or
that
like
kid
one of
just
us
got
will be
deleted.
distracting someone, I'll teleport behind them and chuck a boulder at them, and then they're just done. It's like
The gameplay
voice
itself
spamming.
is like super.
My voice spamming and it worked out great. Oh yeah, we meant to do that the whole time. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's just like one
Combo.
of those things. Like you're like in a fight, and then you see this giant tornado pop up. So like Jake will shoot lightning at it, and then like I'll come by and I'll be like, oh shit, there's a kid in a tornado and lightning. Let me just sprinkle some fire on it. It's like-
Yeah, that seems to be
Instant
the whole
kill.
appeal. It's just like how fluid some of the
Yeah,
combat can be in
it's-
that way.
and it's like brought down by the map and like that gameplay style of just jumping and shooting, because these kids are unimaginative and can't really
what if
combo together.
kind of harping back on the loot and armor, what if like they implemented the Fortnite change where if you get a kill you get some armor, you get a little bit of armor.
Yeah.
Because that will
They
help
do
like
have-
late
that's one of
game.
the-
Because like it's
one of
just like
the
a
innate
clusterfuck at that point. Because it's just abilities flying everywhere, and like you don't really have time to heal. So it doesn't like reward the best players a lot of the time. If you just caught, you're just gonna die.
Is the visual clutter problematic late game?
Somewhat.
Visual.
Yeah.
It's
So, because there's so much visuals that like I imagine in the late game and everyone's in this really small area. It's
Yeah.
just like
You
and
also
everyone's
don't,
powers are maxed
especially
out
if
also.
like there's multiple poison users, you don't know whose poison is what, so there's no like
Yeah.
differentiate like aspects of like, oh, is this my boy shit or is it just some random kids, and if I touch it or not,
yeah,
am I
and
gonna
they
die?
all hurt you.
Hmm.
Yeah, they all hurt you
Yeah, it
anyway.
doesn't
So even if
matter.
it is your boy's poison, it's gonna hurt you anyway. So like,
Yeah.
it's
Also, too,
yeah.
like
less.
I don't know how it is for other people playing, but I feel like we get jumped by the entire game every time we play.
Well, that's
like,
because
I don't know,
we
we're
hot
always
drop
fighting
on
like a
we
whole,
hot
like-
drop on 4 mana vaults.
Yeah, but why are they always shooting at us only?
It's the superior movement, man.
Yeah,
These kids are jumping around and shooting at the ground.
I mean, it's the pacing of the game is so like polar opposite, because like we'll hot drop towards like the most mana vaults in one spot. Hopefully there'll be people there, so we'll have some early game fights, and then most of the time there's gonna be like a 5 to 10 minute gap of like not seeing anyone, and most of the time I'm just chucking my abilities randomly across the map, hopefully that someone sees that and is enticed to come near me.
Shooting lightning in the air.
Just
I'm
like,
literally
yeah,
just
we're over
chucking
here.
Look at this
boulders
boulder.
like off cooldown, essentially.
Yeah, just trying to get
yes,
some.
yeah, just something I wanted to bring up is the smaller lobby sizes and how you guys feel about that. I think it's like 60, 40.
It's like
And
less
is
than
that how
50,
that
I
impacts the
think.
pacing?
Yeah, I think it caps out at 60, but whenever we
What's the
play, our
time?
lobbies get like 40, I'd say.
With bots.
Do you feel that impacts?
Yeah,
And
with,
does it work with the map size?
Oh yeah, definitely. The map's definitely too big for that amount of players. I think if they upped it to like 100, I don't know if they have 100
Just
players,
double it.
because one time Jake and I were playing and we were like in queue for like 20 minutes. So like the way it works is you queue, you get into the pregame lobby, and we're like sitting in the pregame lobby for 20 minutes, and I'm like, why are we still in this pregame lobby? And I look and it's like, oh, 22 out of 40 players to start, and it's like, all right, we're not going to get a game. So I don't know if their player counts can support 100 players all the time,
because they're like cross-platform on like 4 different platforms. So wouldn't it?
Yeah,
but
I mean, maybe it was.
I'm not sure if
that?
I don't know if it's like if we're just two PC players. I assume we're just going to be in PC lobbies. If one of us was on console, I think how most of them work. It's like if you do have cross-play platforms in a single party, then you'll be in mixed lobbies. But if you're just PC, I think you're just going to be in PC lobbies.
Also, too,
Yeah,
like going back to like the smaller, like the map is a little bit smaller, but like I feel like they should just make it even smaller than it is. Like it's not as big as Fortnite, obviously, but if they made it even smaller and then just actually put some character into it, like then their lobby size wouldn't really matter that much. Like you can do it with like 40, 35, 30 people in a lobby. Because like the games will be quicker. Because like honestly, like after we hot drop, it's like 20 minutes of just walking around and just being like, "Yep, that's not the loot I wanted. It's not it." And then like running away from the fucking wall until until like we get to the kids that suck at the end. It's like, all right, how many teams are gonna jump us now? You know, like
yeah, it's kind of weird
like,
they went with such a big map when it's so plain and so few people.
I would much rather a smaller map that has more personality, and I think that'll like really separate the games and differentiate in between lobbies.
Yeah, and that way too, like it won't feel so like desolate in between like the drop and the end game, because like you're really not seeing anybody. Also too, like it would diminish what we were talking about with the travel powers as well, because like yeah, fly and teleport are amazing just because not only can you move quickly, but also too like it helps in a fight as well. So it's not like it would be useless even if the map was smaller. And there's like so much tweaking that they can do with like the speed in which the ring closes, and like the distance or the speed of the travel powers as well. Where like
or even like what I said, like doing certain biomes give you speed boost.
Yeah, but I feel like that's a lot of work where they could just make.
Well, they already have the systems in place, that's what made me think of it, because like things like fire stays on the ground and burns if you have fire as your primary ability. They already have these like features to burn grass and stuff like that. So like, why not just like make an area where there's like burned grass or like poison on the ground?
My thing is more that you're gonna move around on the map a lot. It's a battle royale, so you're gonna be stuck in one location or another. So like having the biome things, it doesn't really help you out too much. I guess that
it'll change the gameplay. Like if you have like more players alive end game and it pulls towards the fire biome, you're an ice boy, you're like fuck. You're a fire boy, you're like hell yeah, I'm doing extra damage. It just like adds like this.
How salty
is that more RNG though? Yeah,
like that's what these kids don't like. Like we think that's cool, but does the internet think that's cool? No. These kids will cry.
And it's gonna be cool sometimes. A lot of times it's gonna be like, well, I got boned because I got pushed into a fire zone against a team of fire.
It'll depend on like what the buff is. If it's something like slight speed boost or like a minimum heal if you stand in fire, I don't think it'll be that crazy. But just like things like that, because I know Fortnite added things like mushrooms and apples, and in the original game, all you had were like minis and big potions, and then like slurp potions or slurp juices. But they added things like mushrooms, apples, bananas, So like you get to a spot and you're low on shields and you're like, oh, I know this is a mushroom area. This like just things like that like identify spots on the map with things you can get goes a long way in a BR. That's pretty much what I'm trying to say.
I think there's a lot of ways you can do that that are maybe a little less impactful than
Mhm.
fully setting on a region on fire and giving. But I wanted to ask you guys, what do you think about the how like the mobility and stuff at PAX is like? I think I heard that it was like really hard because everyone's flying all over the place all the time.
Yeah,
It's like very, but
These kids are just bad.
like going
Yeah.
kind of alluding back to like one of the first things we were mentioned, like gauntlet compatibility. Like I like running stone because I out of all the gauntlets, I feel like it feels really rewarding when you do land like your primary, like I'm gonna shatter, like punching the ground, creating like a crevasse essentially on you. It does like the most burst damage out of like all of them. But also like it doesn't hit you if like you're floating. So like, I have to wait, be dodging, and then time it when you're landing on the ground to do damage to you, while a lot of others can just like keep spamming you regardless. So like I'm never gonna want to run stone and ice because ice is like also like if you miss your shot and you're running stone, you're just like you're screwed against someone who just spam at you.
Yeah. Yeah, so there's like certain combos that aren't good, but with the travel powers, yeah, there's only like two real ones, teleport and fly in my eyes. Everything else is terrible.
no heroic leap.
There is, and
There's
it is awful.
It's
You go
trash.
2
Be-
inches. It's
You go-
2 inches of
you-
leap.
Yeah,
No,
it's
you
gonna-
go,
It's not
you jump,
super
you
dumb.
jump like you jump
in
20 feet.
isolation, it's not bad because in Realm that was like the main mobility one, but like here, like you just teleport quickly behind somebody and just like light them up. It's just like there's no comparison. Like the
Yeah.
leap is trash.
Like it's like so much fun because like Jake will be 1v1ing someone and he'll like call out their low. I'll just teleport right next to them, do my lightning from the sky, stun them, and then Jake hits them with a rock. That kid's dead. Like what is your heroic leap gonna do against that? I literally just teleported.
Also,
It's
dude,
invis.
it's such an obvious fucking arc too. Like, oh, you're gonna be there. Like, it's not like you can control it at all.
Mhm.
It's not fucking City of Heroes super jump. It's not like it's not. There's no control. It's like
Yeah,
slightly better than my normal jump.
set
Also,
arc is
I-
annoying.
The game does not use its mobility at all. Like the maps are not like is not designed for like the slow moving verticality that your like float gives you. So most of these kids are just jumping straight up in the air and are just like sitting ducks. So you
Mhm.
just like hit them in their like arc. Like and like once you get that down, like this game you just shit on kids.
Yeah,
And maybe
everyone
because
just
the
holds down
lobbies are
space
actually
bar.
filled with bots. But like some of these are actual kids.
Actual
It's-
bots.
It's
Yeah.
just
But
the
is
path of
invis any good?
No.
Invis.
I feel like invisibility.
I mean,
It's
I've
either
been
hit or
like,
miss,
I've
like,
been,
a lot of
I've
time.
been fucked by it, like, cause I know Invis. If you have Invis and then you have poison as your primary, you get 75% increased damage on poison. So like, I've been hit by the kid who runs Invis and just like puts a gas bomb on you, and you're just one-shotted because
Yeah.
So
But-
I haven't used it myself personally.
But like if
But-
you're close enough to them and they activate their invisibility, like they're not completely invisible. Like you're still if you're close enough to them where you're not distracted by all the particle effects flying around you, you're able to track them. So you're just able to like wait till they pop out of it and just hit them with whatever ability you have. So
Yeah, it's only really good if you don't know that they have it, and they
Mhm.
just like sneak up on you while you're fighting someone else.
Yeah.
Itch move, by the way.
Yeah, it's usually the invis poison. Yeah, I'm sure that they're all about the fights. But so there's two topics. I don't know if we want to cross them together, but they are talking about adding different game modes like a more traditional deathmatch and the likes. And then also I just wanted to be the usual. Do we see actual esports potential within this? Would it be within this mode, or do you think more so with a different game mode type?
I like
Maybe.
the idea of deathmatch.
Yeah, me
Wanna know
too.
why? Wanna know why? Because they suck at making the fucking maps, but they have a battle arena part of the map that would be perfect
mhm.
for
They have,
deathmatch.
and they just
I'm
like
like-
enhance this little fight pit that they have. That'd be real.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like dude, like if they had like what Darren was saying, like I don't know about fucking biomes, but like if you could hit like traps with your spells and like
Yeah.
set off traps, like that's what I'm
Kinda
talking about.
like in
they're,
Avatar when
Yeah,
they have like the pro
exactly.
bending
I-
things, like the.
I feel like if they're willing to, I think they could pivot somewhat as like a secondary game type away from the BR and more in like a more outdoorsy arena shooter, because that's what a lot of this feels closer to instead of like your traditional because nothing's hit scan, it's all projectile.
Yeah. And like the physics are good too. Like
Yeah,
everything in the game. Like as much as we've been like kind of shitting on it, because I feel like we're not really giving it the props. Like we like this game.
yeah.
It's
We
There's
just want
good
it to do
bones.
well. Yeah, it has.
Yeah,
This
there's like
this
some.
house has good bones.
Oh, the last major problem I have with it is there's no revivability to it. Like the big thing is like if you just get like cheese and like you just get exiled, there's no coming back. There's like because in the other
Yeah.
BRs like your boy if your boys recover your like beacon, your tag or whatever in a certain allotted time, they're able to bring you back. And this, if like you're dead, you're dead, and especially it's like then you just especially if you die early in that first fight to whatever, and then you just have to watch your boys just like wait for a fight for 10 to 15 minutes for something to happen. It's just like really
Yeah,
boring.
there's two sides to that. Like I could see them adding something like that for sure, but if they do want to keep it like a faster paced game, like these smaller lobbies,
Yeah.
it kind of hinders that if you have
That'll
everyone coming back
Yeah,
all the
but that'll
time.
also fix the player counts in
Hmm.
late game as well. Like, cause now kids can come back. So if you do like so many times, like will Jake die or I'll die, and then like one of us has to play out the game, and we'll win. We'll still win the game, but like it would have been more fun if you could have just brought your boy back. You know?
Yeah, and games like Warzone really took advantage of that, where it's like there's a whole bunch of ways to come back, but I hear you you turn into like a slow moving soul or orb or whatever,
Yeah,
and you
Yeah.
can still
the
like scout when you get killed.
yeah, like your downtime as this little orb thing is like an eternity,
It's like
but it's like
yeah,
if
like
you
a
get
minute and
exiled,
30
it's like
seconds.
nothing. You're just gone.
Yeah.
Also,
You're
there's
out.
like random
Yeah.
like spots in the middle of the map where if you just there's just random like pits that if you just happen to
Oh yeah.
like you might not even mean to, you just like you dash or fly wherever, and then like you're mid
You're
fight
just
and you just fall into the pit, you're just dead instantly, just randomly, and
yeah.
he's like in the middle of
That's
the map.
the only personality the map has is that there's random death pits.
Hmm.
It's an easy fix. They were like, hole here? Okay.
Like it's happened to literally every single
Done.
one of us. Like
Hmm.
we'll be in a fight and then like one of us will just go, "What?" And it's like, "Oh, the death pit," you know.
Has claimed another. Yes.
Mm.
But no, this game is definitely great and does have a lot of potential. I don't know about doing a BR for esports for it though, unless they clean up things like the map, add some kind of revive system, and polish up the gameplay a little bit, not much, because I think the gameplay is the best thing this game does have going for it. But if they do like some kind of team deathmatch arena mode, I think it could be a lot of fun. Because like
Hmm.
the most fun about this game is combining abilities to outplay your opponents.
Yeah.
And
I'm gonna
And
piggyback
then
off of that. Oh, you can go. Sorry.
I was just gonna say, yeah, it eliminates the big problem of, dying, and then you're the big problem of Battle Royale where you're just dead and you're stuck doing nothing. But if it's arena shooting, you're reviving, or they're quicker rounds, then more action. So,
Hmm.
what were you gonna say?
Kind of coming from the spectator side of things, I think yeah, like the deathmatch would work a lot better because I think that would be easier than completely reworking the map because it's going to be boring for a lot of it for someone who's not playing, just watching. Like, oh, there's just like so much dead time. It's not even that exciting because at least in the other ones, it's pretty to look at. The maps are cool. In Apex, Fortnite, Warzone, there's different personalities, and then the fights are so chaotic where like it kind of uh, gets hurt from the same problem Overwatch has for like people who aren't invested in Overwatch and knows what's happening. There's a lot of visuals just going on, so it's like kind of hard to keep track of what's what and like who's shooting who. So in the BR, like I think if it's more of the focus around the like a TDM or something whatnot, I think that would just be easier for the spectators to
yeah,
grab onto it and be able
and
to
that'll
digest it.
alleviate problems like Jake was saying earlier with like everyone who uses poison, it's a green poison cloud. Everyone uses fire, it's a fireball. So like it's hard to tell when it's an enemy fireball or a friendly. So
Yeah,
if
you
you
can
have
do
like
kind
red
of
and
what they
blue,
do. You can do what they do in Overwatch League as well, with like different
yeah,
teams get different colors. But I guess there's only so many colors if you're doing like a giant battle
yeah,
royale esports. So
Hmm.
trickier there. But yeah, like red and blue, just clear cut. But isn't it just like Overwatch
I
League
don't
problem
think
on
it matters.
steroids because of all the visual clutter of giant smoke clouds
it's
and
different
boulders?
though because everyone knows what fire, ice, lightning is, and like, oh, that kid's tased because he got hit with lightning. It's very.
I just mean
Well, I mean,
following
it
the
won't
action
really be that
itself
big
of
of a
like what's
problem if
happening
it's
to them.
It won't be that big of a problem if they do like a team deathmatch thing because there's only a certain amount of people on the map. It's like when there's like fucking like 12 people just lobbing shots from all different directions that it's a problem. And even too,
You
like
do like
it
a
doesn't
4 on
really
4.
matter if it's friend or foe. If it's a gas cloud and it's going to do damage, so you need to move. Like it doesn't matter.
Yeah, well, we're talking about from a spectator's experience. Like, you want to know if that gas cloud
Yeah,
is
but you're
actually
watching
like
your boy, and if
working.
he got smashed by a fucking rock, he got smashed by a rock. It didn't really matter who it was from. Until he came and killed him, and it was his boy, shot him in the back.
Oh, did he just dodge that smoke cloud, or did he just sidestep his own boy's move? Like they're very
His boy
different
just did.
scenarios. Yeah,
You
they just
know, but like,
whiff that.
but I was thinking more like while you guys were talking about like if they actually pivoted hard to like a deathmatch format, like then they have an actual like a run at an esport because they can make instead of like just one size fits all gauntlets, they can make character comps, and then now you're making team comps, and then you can do a little bit more interesting things with like the map design, and then like you can tweak hard like one gauntlet because like I'm thinking how it would work with the current system that they have now, where like you pick one and then you have to find one. Um, like maybe they can do like a team deathmatch with like multiple teams on like a instead of like dropping. Maybe you could do drop in. Like they can make the deathmatch thing work like with the battle royale thing with a very small map, where like you got to earn your second gauntlet. You know what I'm saying?
Kill a kid for it.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think the way I would see it work is you just like pick your two gauntlets, and like the customization would be coming from the talents you pick. So instead of getting one talent tree, you get access to like fire and lightning, and you can maybe pick three between the 6 options you have,
Yeah,
something like that.
that's
Like you could.
interesting as well. I
Yeah.
wasn't thinking about that route. I was more like, oh man, like there's gonna be an optimal strategy, and you're gonna see the fucking cheese strats come out.
Yeah, that's
Like that's
that's
what I'm worried about. Like, how do you balance against that? And I think that maybe even reducing it down to one gauntlet and making the power system a little bit more robust, and then adding a little bit more counterplay would be a little bit better for this game rather than like trying to make it into a BR. Because I feel like it's just not the right fit for this game.
Yeah, I think they need to just doubling down on that, the counterplay system. They should, like, your biggest thing is these elements and how they combine and interact with each other. So like making things like when I first saw someone shoot a poison cloud and then Jake fucking shot an ice bolt at it and froze it in midair, I was like, no fucking way that you can like actually do that in this game. And it just sits there. It's like frozen and it just sits there. And I was like, wow, that's
cool.
actually pretty insane. Yeah. Like,
Yeah, it's a lot of like kind of like the Fortnite like molding the environment, and I think maybe that's maybe why they have such plain maps is like I don't know if the powers really attribute to that much outside of that instance, but because you're kind of controlling the environment yourself, and maybe if they build up more of that, go full Avatar out of this.
yeah, just
Mhm.
fucking.
Let me
Instead of
throw
like
my rock
punching
at the frozen poison thing. Back at them.
and then now shards of ice are shooting everywhere. Poison ice just exploding. Oh man, so much potential.
Yeah, but I'd just be curious. I'm always interested to see how they could incorporate more of like an objective style game. Like I was thinking of like what's that anime Tower of God, like the Crown game, where it's like you have to use a build and like get the center, kind of like Oddball, I guess, where like
Yeah,
King
even
the
like
Hill kind of.
capture the flag too. You could pull that off. That'd be super fun for this game because you have like the abilities. Like someone gets the flag, you use a tornado on them, pull them back, like just like crazy stuff like that.
Yeah,
You
and
use ice to skate back to your base.
I
Like,
like the idea of also having
Throw
multiple
zones
teams
away.
more
That
than
sounds clean.
yeah, like
Yeah.
more than 2 teams where it's like okay, like someone snuck the flag. It's like all right, let's stop fighting each other and go deal with this person. And then, but I'm not gonna let you get it. So I think there's a lot of possibilities because they, like we said, they do have good bones and like good core system. They just need a good game around it.
And they have a
Yeah.
whole bunch of busted up tower skins to throw for capture the flag maps. Like they can really clean that up.
Clean up your towers. You're embarrassing yourself.
yeah.
Um,
My
Cool.
overall opinion is this game is not trash. Just even though people might think
We
that,
never
I'm always saying
actually
that
we never
Yeah,
declare if it's trash or not. So yeah,
I'm giving it a not trash. It has a lot of potential. It's still in beta, I believe, and it's
No,
come a long way from the
it's not. I
alpha.
don't think it's in beta. I think it's full release.
Oh,
Release.
it's full
Yeah.
release.
Mhm.
Oh
It's
well,
like
I mean,
last
it's
week.
still
It's
come a long way
covering the trash can now.
from the alpha version that I played when, what was it, 2 years ago when that came out?
I'm still disappointed
Yeah.
that Blake doesn't have a wizard sloth right now. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, I was thinking about that as soon as we started recording. I was like, "Fuck, man."
you always say that. You're like, you were too busy looking for trash cans for the thumbnail to
That's what I'm saying.
to take care of yourself.
Yeah, so wait, what does everyone else got? I got it's not trash.
Dude, I'm gonna be like, I'm picking it back out of the trash. I like the game. I'm picking
Was
it out of the trash.
Trashed it all 40 minutes, and now I'm picking it back up.
Yeah, no, I'll take it out. Honestly, I like the game. It's just not a game. It's not gonna be your everyday.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's not. You're not gonna keep playing it, but you'll keep going back to it, and it will still be fun. It's just like if they update it, if they continually update it, I think it will be like real fucking good. Like they have a winning mechanics here. They just need to figure out the right fit. And I don't think Battle Royale is it.
I think they know that they're already kind of headed in that direction. I was reading an interview, and they're like, "Yep, we got new things coming. Just wait." But they definitely wanted to jump on the trend, and then we're late out the gate, and they're like, "Okay, now we just have to continue with this." But Jake, what's your
I feel
two
like
trash cans up?
no, I've taken a few bites out of it. I put it aside and left it for a day. Maybe debating it could go in the trash right now, but it's still good. It's still got potential where you could finish it off. So
It's really rot on the counter. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
I mean, if it's looking good in 20 minutes, maybe.
Yeah, you don't know. You might be a little fucked up coming back from a night out. You're like, oh man, that's still edible.
I thought you were gonna say I left it for a few days. But I was like, man, I miss being a wizard. I was longing to be a wizard, and I really wanted to come back.
Yeah, call me my new account will be called Vermin Supreme.
Dude, ponies for all.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I kind of stopped playing it after the first couple weeks when since we installed it, and then there's nothing like driving me to come back and play it. They did add like a tracer recall ability that you can pick up, or like you activate it, you go around. A few seconds later, you just zoom, go back to where you were.
Does it heal you?
I don't know. I didn't play that enough. I literally just loaded it in just to see what it actually did.
That was the best part of Tracer Recall, just and I'm back. Like I never left. Full health in your face.
Yeah, so they need if they do kind of make some significant changes, like not all of the ones that we kind of rattled off, because that would take an eternity, but just enough to kind of spice it up. It would be a lot of fun, and I definitely would jump back into it.
Yo, just add deathmatch.
Yeah, I think they have a lot of
all the time if they just add deathmatch.
Yeah.
I'm trying to shit on kids. I'm not trying to look for you.
That's true.
I'm not playing hide and seek.
Yeah.
I don't want to have to get wolf powers to find you in that broken castle number 35.
But I think they're in a pretty good position where they have a lot of good stuff going for it and a lot of room to grow, which is good for a game in this day and age where they can continue to, if they add new things, it's going to be very impactful to people's experiences.
Yeah, it's good that there was a lot of things that we could talk about on it, because if we couldn't, then kind of fucked.
Who knows? Maybe Dr. Disrespect will be bidding for a skin and map on this game like he did in Rogue Company. So.
Yo,
Can't
make a
imagine him
$4
as a
million
wizard.
arena for my boy, and then put
he released
Deathmatch
that
in it.
clip where he played Spellbreak for a day, and it was him just getting shit on, and then at the end of the clip he was like, "Don't get it, can't play it," and then he deletes, uninstalls it. And I was like, bro, how can you not play? This game is so simple.
I missed that month when all the streamers were playing.
They don't know how to vertically track. That's exactly what it is, dude. They don't understand. They're only horizontal.
Look up.
Mm-hmm.
You couldn't look up.
That actually might be a big thing.
dogs.
Yeah. So many people, so many games, you don't need to think about the y-axis. If you do come from Overwatch, I think that's a lot of people will have that advantage because you're constantly cursors everywhere. So who knows?
Yeah.
All right.
So it seems we are not trash on this one, but half the time I talk to these guys, they change their mind by the next time we do one of
I'm
these.
frequently pulling it out of the trash, but sometimes it goes back in. I don't know.
We had Hyperscape out of the trash, went right back in as soon as Rogue
I
Company
never
came
took it
out.
out of the trash. It was always
Nah,
in there.
Okay.
it's been trash. That was the only one that has definitively been garbage from day one.
It was fun.
Fun for
and then,
3
like,
games, and then instantly, like, this is trash.
All right, well, we'll do a
Yeah.
trash retroactive at some point. We'll say that for another day since
Still
we've been talking
trash?
for a while. Still trash?
Return
Is
to
it?
the dump? You want to return to the dump? I don't know.
The return to
Yeah,
the
dude.
dump series. Let's go.
Episode 5, Return to the Dump. But we are the Infamy Fantasy Esports team. We're hosting fantasy Fortnite tournaments and fantasy Call of Duty Warzone tournaments coming up soon. So check it out at infamy.gg, and we'll see you next time.